Hello, everyone. Thanks so much for joining me here today as we get to talk about one of my favorite subjects, comic books. My name is Jose. I love comic books. I love talking about them. I love sharing them with you. Feel free to follow me on social media if you would like. Links are in the description below. I've also posted a link to the DC fan site that'll have plot synopsis and character bios for this issue, or book in this case. JLA Earth 2 from the year 2000, written by Grant Morrison, drawn by Frank Quietly. I bought this the day it came out. I love this story. So we've got Ultraman, Owlman, and Superwoman. But we of course we get Wonder Woman, Superman, and Batman. I was so excited for this book. I scooped it up, like I said, the day it came out. This book was mine. I still own it. It is. I just love this story. So, again, Grant Morrison, writer, Frank Quietly, artist, and Lara DuPois and Wildstorm actually did the color and the separations. This is a reprint of this book. Like I said, I got it in the year 2000 when it first came out. So we go straight to the beginning. Bad news. He's escaped. And so here we have sort of like the JLA watchtower here. One of the things is Grant Morrison doesn't put in too many words, allows you to just let the art kind of speak, and you can see here these things are going crazy here. And so Ultraman says, he used some of the alien machinery from my fortress. We lost the trail, some kind of gravitational distortion. And Owlman says, so what do you want to do? And Ultraman says, what do you think? Make the most of it. So here they are watching. We've got the sun, we got the earth. So, and we have this little rocket ship heading toward Earth. Oh, it almost looks like the origin of Superman. Battery just went dead. Just went dead on me like that. Same as the radio. Oh my gosh, Ethan, look at. And then she stops here because it's so bright. Honey, wait, we don't know what it is. It could be an alien spaceship, or it might give us weird powers. And she says, or somebody could be hurt, Ethan. It's not all like in. And and she's like, oh, is he human? And so if you look at the color scheme, you sort of can know who this is. And he says, how very charming. I've just reversed across the matter-antimatter membrane in a homemade ship, and this is my reception. My dear country cousin, you are human. I am Luthor. Now where can I find the super people around here? So we got Lex Luthor. Beautiful. Gosh, Frank Quietly is very good. I am always saddened. Here we get this double page spread here. I'm always saddened that we don't get more Frank Quietly in our lives. And part of the reason being, of course, because he is very detailed oriented and he takes a long time to draw. So, and here we have Superman, Martian Manhunter, and Wonder Woman. And we got our cast of characters. Martian Manhunter, Superman, Wonder Woman, Batman, Green Lantern, Flash, and Aquaman. But we got our bad guys here. The Crime Syndicate, Ultraman, Superwoman, Owlman, Power Ring, and Johnny Quick. Now, there are versions of both Aquaman and John Jones, but not in this story. So here we have an airplane that's about to crash. Superman says, separate the tail section and the wing. Get the people away from the explosions. And John Jones says, telepathically engaged. Loud and clear, John, says Superman. Everyone knows what to do. And Wonder Woman says, and if not, we'll soon learn. So now it's, of course, all being done telepathically. So they're all thinking their thoughts. I'll take the front section if John handles the back. Flames are out. And Kyle Rayner was the Green Lantern during this time. It creates a fan here. You are green to go, he says. And Martian Manhunter says, strange. I can detect no brain activity within. And Wonder Woman here goes, no one's conscious here. The whole cabin's rolling and depressurized. I may need some help. And Superman says, one moment, Wonder Woman, as he holds on to this wing. And they don't look too good. Oh, this poor guy here. So Superman's like, I'm on my way. So he's going to catch everybody. Wow, what great poses, what a great drawing. Like I said, more Frank Quietly in our lives, please. I am serializing also a limited series that they did called Flex Mentalo. Feel free to check that out if you so like. And I also have a playlist for Justice League. Feel free to check that out as you would like as well. Green Lantern says, I got them all. We got them, Superman. So where do you want us to put them? And so Superman says, the Flash is generating a cushion of pressurized air below us. Lower them gently. I don't hear heartbeats. So, guys are not doing very well here. And so, okay, let's get these people ground and I'll slow down a little. And he says, bad news. They're all dead. And listen, guys, I just checked everybody for ID. Starters, a dollar bill with the face of Benedict Arnold where George Washington should be. Anybody else hearing that little X-Files whistle on this one? For those of you who may be younger, X-Files was a show that was really popular during the late 90s, early 2000s. So, and here, Flash is holding that dollar bill. And they crushed the airplane so that they could put it. If what Flash is saying is true, another dimension, John, where have these people come from? And Martian Manhunter says, we can speculate at the stage, Superman. And then he thinks, Aquaman, right here on the Atlantic seaboard. How come the one piece of wreckage you missed landed on my roof, he says. What happened? What did we do wrong? And Wonder Woman says, they're already dead, Kyle. When they arrived here, they were dead. Yeah, but what killed them? Asked Green Lantern. And where did they arrive from? We'll soon... Oh. And Wonder Woman says, how curious. Their hearts are on the right side of their bodies. And here you can see Martian Manhunter. The wreckage is safely disposed of, but it appears we have a mystery on our hands, Superman. Are there any clues on the flight recorder? And Superman says, I'm reading something about a call for help. And, wait a minute. And he says, Luthor. And telepathically, this is Aquaman. I think you should see this. By the way, the this version of Aquaman is not my favorite, but man, Frank Quietly draws him like a badass. So, whatever it is, it doesn't look like the 8:30 LexCorp Gotham to Atlanta flight. And here we can see KKK Southern and the Burning Cross. So, of course, you know, this is probably from another, of course, the Earth where bad things ended up happening. So, and so, Morning Miss Tessmacher, an ode to Superman. We're in the Lex building, which is very cool designed. So, I'd like you to cancel all of the appointments in my diary, but tell the president I love him very much. And so here it says Palmer Retinal identification positive. And she says, Mr. Luther, my office is off limits to everyone but me today. I feel a brainwave or two coming, and I intend to surf. So, very cool. Love the way Grant Morrison uses um, his descriptive writing. Um, Obviously, he's not as wordy as, say, Chris Claremont and others during the 80s, and he writes more in the new style that we're probably now used to. But man, oh man, I just love Grant Morrison. Luthor says, "Good morning, Einstein. Voice identification positive, Lex Luthor." And so look at this beautiful view. Continue the search for gravitational anomalies. Keep trying to hack the JLA watchtower computer. My counterpart almost escaped this morning. Re-encrypt the locks. We need him in there for another 48 hours. Also, I need a hard copy. Everything we've got on the aircraft that reversed this morning. So look at this table. It's a giant, probably sequoia here. Oh, and divert funds from our armaments divisions to let's make a Greenpeace this time. And all of our employees could do a raise 200%, 300. So he's being very generous with the other Lex Luthor if you got that counterpart part. So it looks like the good Lex Luthor is doing all this here. And so he goes, finally, open a secure internet connection. Thank you, Einstein. And here are, this is very cool. Look at this. And so Luthor goes, ah. And Superman says, open the window, the window, Luthor. So they're all there. So very cool. Very, very cool. So, come in. I was expecting you, he says. Then I'm sure you know why we're here. And he says, of course I do, which is more than you know about me. The aircraft had nothing to do with my arrival, at least not directly. I tried to help them, he says. And so Luthor says, you look so much like him, and yet. Can you see the unusual modifications at every eighth angstrom of his DNA? He also has several sophisticated telepathic locks protecting his thoughts, and Luthor says, I'm not a lab rat. The Justice League, God below. My name is Alexander Luthor. I know what your name is, Lex, and I'm tired of your deceptions. 300 people are dead. What have you done? What have you done this time? And he says, Alexander Luthor, sir. I'm from the far side of the mirror, Superman. My Earth orbits its star in a counterclockwise direction. Here, it's summer. There, it's winter. You know this is true. You saw the bodies. I was born in an antimatter reflection of your universe. Where I live, good is evil and vice versa. Look at my heart. You saw the evidence from the plane. And he's like, that's strength. He says, who are you? Perhaps you should come with us, Mr. Luthor. Thank you. I was hoping for an invitation. And he says, Miss Tessmacher, I've deposited $80,000 into your account. Take a nice vacation somewhere warm, he says. So he's going to put on his armor, which I think is very, very cool. And you can see here that it was being opened up on the previous panel here. So, and he's throwing money around here. But it's wasn't Luthor here. And so Ultraman says, by the time they realize the notes are fake, the economy will be in ruins again. And no Luthor to struggle and fail as he always does. I'm almost bored. What do you want, Brainiac? Are you here to spoil my day? And Brainiac says, Master, our attempts to follow the Negatron trail of Luthor's engine exhaust using the accelerator in your Ultra laboratory has been partially successful, says Brainiac. And Ultraman says, there's no such thing as a partial success. And he says, wait. And so this guy is yelling, "Not real, it's crap. Just more crap from the sky, from Ultraman. I can't take it anymore. I can't take any more of them looking down at us as though we were." And then, boom, he disappears. And Ultraman says, "They insult me within earshot. They know what to expect. Big Brother is watching you. Go on, Brainiac." So you can see that the crime syndicate is in charge here in this planet. Now, the crime syndicate had existed before. This was not a creation of Grant Morrison, but after Crisis on Infinite Earth, DC decided that the multiverse was done. But little by little, we started reintroducing it again. So this was the first crime syndicate since Crisis on Infinite Earths. And Brainiac says, "We have verified the existence of a matter counterpart to our antimatter continuum." And Ultraman says, "Matter? Any contact between antimatter and matter would result in complete mutual annihilation. Isn't that correct?" And Brainiac says, "Present data suggests that Luthor converted the matter cannon in your armory, Master, after freeing himself from the dungeons. A matter universe may have other unusual properties. He may be trying to..." And Ultraman says, "I know what he's doing. He's looking for a weapon to use against us. Keep searching for him and keep me informed, Brainiac. I'm calling a meeting of the crime syndicate." And you can see he's pressing a button. You can see all this is going through. And Brainiac just says, "Yes, Master." And so we're back in our Earth here, or the DC Earth here. "I've attacked the crime syndicate's Panopticon headquarters on the moon on a number of occasions, but this watchtower of yours, so different, so bright, so nice vertical." It's really in a splash page thing. So, but and Superman says, "Your story's fantastic, Luthor. This crime syndicate is an evil Justice League." And Luthor says, "It began with Ultraman. He was a human once, a deep space astronaut. Everyone thought dead when his ship imploded into hyperspace. He then came back. Something out there had attempted to repair him with only limited understanding of human physiology. They gave him a superhuman body and sent him back home, but his mind was twisted. Owlman, Superwoman, and the others came after. Bad became worse. That's why I'm begging you to come back with me and end the tyranny of the crime syndicate." And suddenly Batman appears and he says, "I say no." And Batman says, "I'm sorry, but this world has troubles of its own. We're not an interdimensional police force." And it's true. And Batman continues, "We can't afford to be. My city needs me too." And Luthor says, "Your city, how dare you? Look at you, surrounded by your peers, secure in your successes, admired by a doting population. Do you understand what I'm trying to tell you?" Says Luthor. "In my world, there's me. Heroism is a dirty word. I risked everything to reach this universe. Don't send me back to that hell with just platitudes. You have no idea what it is to be alone against a world of shadows." Look at Batman, just like, oh, so cool. "What kind of help do you need, Luthor?" says Superman. 48 hours. I worked it out. That's all we need to change everything." And Batman says, "We can't spare the staff." And Wonder Woman says, "I say we put it to a vote." Oh, Batman's about to lose. So, real quick, love the Superman symbol. A lot of artists take turns drawing, and not everybody does the symbol the same. So, Frank Quietly, a lot of people don't like his faces. A lot of people don't like him. They don't like his style. I do. So, I'm a huge fan of Frank Quietly. So, Superman speaks here. "If we truly stand for justice, if we're genuinely committed to saving lives and protecting the innocent from evil, how can we deny Luthor?" And Flash says, "Hey, I'm sold." And the Green Lantern says, "Yeah, I want to go. I mean, every superhero's got to make at least one trip to the antimatter universe, right?" And Aquaman says, I'm sorry, Superman. While I agree with you, I have duties as the monarch of Atlantis. On the other hand, you know where to reach me if things get out of control." And Wonder Woman says, I see no argument here. Luthor is a proud man, and yet he's risked his life and the lives of the people he protects to plead for our aid. You saw his eyes. You saw the scars he carries. And Superman says, alone against a world of evil, Batman, I've made my decision. And Batman says, Aquaman stays, John stays. I'll take the vacation. So Batman volunteered to go. So, yeah, this, like I said, it's very cool. So, when I found your world, I wasn't sure what to call it. Matter Earth, Alter Earth. In the end, I kept it simple. I settled on Earth 2. Strap yourselves in for the reversal. So, in Golden Age, during the times, Earth 2 was the Earth of the Justice Society. Earth 1 was the Prime Earth. So, this is kind of cool. I love Morrison doing what he's doing here. So, there he goes. And Aquaman says, they're gone. John, if there are complications. And Martian Manhunter answers back, then let us pray you and I are equal of them, Arthur. So, and so now we're at the Crime Syndicate Earth. So one of the things I really do miss in the old style, and I understand that the new writers don't do this, but I would prefer if they would at least tell you where the hell you are as you're reading it. I mean, you make the deductions just by kind of reading this, but it would be nice to say at the other, something, but it's just how modern comic book writers do things now. And it all started with Image comic books, particularly these British writers like Warren Ellis and Mark Miller and Grant Morrison. So I don't deal with Boss Gordon, and I don't deal with the Owlman. I'm meeting you here to arrest you and put you on trial. Have you executed. Says whoever this is. I know who it is, but whatever you've got to trade, we don't need Owlman. And where you're going, there's nothing you'll need either. Show yourself. I know you're there. And suddenly these two are shot, and Owlman is behind them. But you don't know where, do you, old man? You should have traded. He's here. Hit the. And you can see he gets a cut here. Open fire! Open fire! And so everybody shoots, and he says airbag, and he lands on this. I have razor rangs and blood seekers, smart guys. Smart guys or dead guys. And this guy's like, you're nailed. On the contrary. And you can see that they get incinerated. So, the good die young in Gotham. Ha! You took your time. And Superwoman says, so what was all that about? 30 cops support Wayne in the GCPD. Satan knows where he finds them, but they're all here on a disc. And as soon as we've dealt with the Ultraman's Crime Syndicate's emergency, I'm going to find them. And you see Superwoman says, no, don't. Ultraman will see. And, of course, Owlman and Wonder Woman in a relationship. And she's like, So, and Owlman says, maybe he likes to watch. The emergency signals are still buzzing. The signal? Yeah, says Owlman. Guess you were right. Let's go. And she fixes her hair, and Ultraman says, Luthor's discovered a universe composed of matter instead of antimatter. Do we panic? Or does the fact that that the most persistent threat to everything we represent just vanished from this universe and a call for a celebration? And Owlman says, you tell us, boss. So, CSA. Cui bono? Sounds Latin. So, qui means who, and bono is benefits. So, that's where the word bonus comes from. Um, and CSA for Crime Syndicate. So, and so Power Ring says, well, Luther being out of town is good for business, right? And the ring says, theoretically, such a matter universe would include matter duplicates of all the stars and planets, including Earth. I didn't say that. It's the ring. And Ultraman says, it's a good point. Another world to conquer. Oh, must have been done here. So, all right. And Power Ring says, exactly. Exactly what I'm saying. Ultraman's totally right. We should be thinking about how we can exploit this. And Ultraman says, if Luther wants a challenge, he'll get one. Think of this matter universe as just one more vulnerable freighter laden with treasure. Hoist the Jolly Roger high and prepare to board. And so everybody just kind of says, but look at Superwoman. She's kind of like, whatever. She looks like she's not interested. And Owlman says, what was that pirate drivel? Talk to me. What does matter duplicates of ourselves imply to you? It was your technology Luthor used to escape. And Ultraman says, I'll speak to you after I speak to her. One of these days you'll go too far, Owlman, and you won't come back, he says. So, look at Superwoman. And Owlman says, sure. Until then, I have the negatives, remember? And Ultraman says, one day. So, and so it looks like Johnny Quick is a drug addict here. That ring was, man, was all that about? And they're in the bathroom here, and Power Ring says, Loose, you want to shoot that juice, man? The slow-mo's driving me crazy. I'm trying to take a leak here, and you sound like a drain. And so, he just says, shoot, I don't know, maybe sure. So, and Power Ring says, wish I'd never seen this thing. Bastard told me it was a curse, but I was too dumb to care. Now I got some Tibetan freak called a Volthoom crawling around my head. But hey, I got the power. Check it out, dude. So, and he's like, yeah, later, coming upon. And so suddenly he's back to being not Flash, Johnny Quick, I think. Well, the thing is, the more you think about it, the more obvious it gets. A matter universe means a matter version of us. Could be the best fight we ever had, man. And so back here, wait, talk to me, says Ultraman. And I almost said Wonder Woman. Superwoman says, hands off, you see this? One day I'll hang you with this. So, and Ultraman, bitch. And so off panel here. Sorry to interrupt, Romeo. And Owlman continues. I've been thinking about this, and there's something you ought to know. And so, Great Krypton. I've never seen anything like this place, Luthor. It's so grim and, hey, leave the dog alone, as they kick that poor dog. What's your problem? Dog didn't do nothing to you. Hey, pretty boy, I'm sure I'm gonna, shot your weirdo. And he uses the thing which scares the dog, and the poor dog's gonna get run over by this bus here. So this guy says, Spy Room, the crime syndicate, I'm out of here. The element of surprise is all we have. Easy, Luthor. Someone kicked the dog, young man. Get used to it. There are people suffering out there. Okay, this is what I'm used. Okay, this is not what I'm used to. I don't like this place, man. Then help me change it. We need to secure the panopticon, not to involve yourself in street brawls. And Superman says, it's hard for us to stand back and watch, Luthor. I say we act now. We'll have We still have surprise on our side. Green Lantern, the moon's all yours. So, and I think we're still in that world here. Guys are scared, Tom. These men and women have families. The bastards got name and addresses on that disc. So, we can still get him. Tom, you're on your own. You should go home. You don't look so good. So, we can still stop him. Of course, there's a picture. So, Bruce Wayne, of course, is. This is Thomas Wayne, by the way. And behind him, Commissioner Wayne. I came to talk. And he says, I know you blame me for your mother's death that night. I know you blame me for Bruce. There's nothing left to talk about, Thomas. So this is not Bruce Wayne, but apparently there were two children. So this is Thomas Jr. Bruce Wayne is dead. I promise I'll kill you for what you've done to me, and I will feel no more guilt. And he takes out the gun, and he says, you'd be guilty of murdering the wrong man, that's all. I'm not Thomas. I'm not Owlman. My name is Batman. I'm sorry to hear about your family, he says. Whatever stupid name you call yourself, I know my own son. And so these guys, he's Canteen Jerky, Commissioner. Everybody here's got a grudge. You say the word. And Batman says, in less than 12 hours, the crime syndicate's global operations will cease. Trust me, he says. And you can see him throwing some, it looks like pills in there. Sorry. And be ready, says Batman. And they explode. And here they catch that flash bang, and here goes Batman. So cool. Man, oh man, that is an amazing, amazing panel. And so Batman goes out the window, and he's like, damn, I'm seeing fireworks. Can I get him? And there's Batman using his not batarang, his whatever, not bat rope. I don't know. And he says, no, stop, don't shoot, says the commissioner. And Batman says, I have reservations about this, Diana. If this world and the crime syndicate are opposites in every way, how will what we do here be reflected back home? And Wonder Woman says, evil isn't the reflection of good, Batman. Good is a reflection of good. We can polish the mirror, then it's up to Luthor. Here's Superman now. And so Superman arrives. These people are living in a nightmare. I've never seen such misery and hatred. Green Lantern's in a position on the moon, and only one crime syndicate member is absent from their panopticon. We're almost ready, says Wonder Woman. Luthor in Ultraman's fortress. Join Luthor in Ultraman's fortress and leave Superwoman to me and my mustache. And Batman says, I hope we're all absolutely sure what we're doing the right thing, whatever that means. So, Batman's having some doubts. So, Flash or Johnny Quick is still kind of like buzzed from that drug. Telling you, we're trapped. This is your fault. Ultraman's gonna kick your ass past Jupiter. And Power Ring says, what? Come on. I've been taking a leak here. That was forever ago. I'm talking about this. See? And he says, that's not me. And so, aware of plasma prison of an identified origin. And he says again, it wasn't me. So, wipe that stupid grin off your face and tell me what it is you, says Ultraman. And Owlman says, shut up, look. It's green. Everything is green, man. And here goes the Green Lantern holding the moon. That is awesome. That is an awesome panel. And it's a splash page because it's about the only way this would work, just to show how massive this is. So very, very nice. So we're still in Earth Earth 1. So here the Daily Planet with and here comes Superman here. So we'll ignore all this kind of stuff. So he's wearing a mustache here. Oh, hi, Cat. I wonder if Lois and Cat says, Lieutenant Clark Kent, what's with Wimp Act, Space Ranger? Marriage to Queen Bitch turn you gay? Can't say I blame you. So, hey, this was again written the year 2000. So, anytime you want to orbit something a little less Arctic, just whistle. And Superman says, "I sure will." Lois is. She went to the to powder her nose with little Jenny Olsen in tow. If you run, you might catch her squeezing his zits for him. Thanks, Cat. I think I know the way. So she goes, freak. And so he's walking and uses his X-ray vision. You're the only one who knows my little secret, Jimmy. Lois Lane is Superwoman, the ultimate front page headline. That would make any cub reporter's career, wouldn't it? And she's got you can see a noose here as she's got him. And she takes off. But you ever breathe a word and I'll skin you. I'll slowly with my fingernails. And he's all like, oh yeah. Oh, he's a little masochist. You like watching me change to Superwoman, don't you, you little creep? You made me so sick. Superwoman snitch, Jimmy Olsen. That's what your own newspaper calls you. And he's like, can I? He wants to. And she's like, no, and pushes him away. Which, of course, is going to make him want her even more. So, I should. And she goes, sniff. She puts on her cape. And you can see here the fortress now using his heat vision. Keep the stockings for your disguise, Kit. And look at her, pervert. So, and so Superwoman says, Ultraman, what is all this? You know the rules. No secret identities. Ultraman's been evicted. The Flying Fortress has a new landlord. Luthor, I knew you'd come back, says Superwoman. Once again, you've been proven right. It's only fair to warn you that I didn't come alone. And suddenly the Justice League shows up. What? Wait, whoever you are, you've been tricked. Luthor's not like us. He wants to destroy. And you could look at her eyes. And Wonder Woman says, forgive me, sister, and just punches her. We don't want to hurt you, Superwoman, but we're here to stop you, says Superman. He picks her up. She's incredibly strong. We only have moments. I've set Ultraman's teleporter for a one-way trip to the moon. Seconds. She's waking up, Luthor. Then she'll wake up in jail. If Green Lantern's plasma ones hold, we've trapped them in a cosmic Alcatraz. So, what now, Luthor? Now we have 48 hours to tame the world. So, and here Ultraman is fighting Green Lantern. He's been doing that for hours. Power Ring? I'm working on it. And so everybody hears Owlman's just sitting here. And the ring is like, I don't quite know. In some versions, the ring controls the wearer, but here Grant Morrison has them. So I'm used to the other one where the ring controls. And so Owlman says, "Oh, shut the." And Wonder Woman shows up here, says, "My name is Wonder Woman. I represent the Justice League of America from a world not far from your own, but very different. We're here in response to a distress call from one of your people, Alexander Luthor. We've learned that yours is a world crushed by tyranny, paralyzed by crime, and crippled with corruptions to the highest levels. We've heard the call and answered. The crime syndicate is no more. Look up again. Justice. This is a coup, says Ultraman. Everybody's just here watching, and there's Commissioner Wayne. The skies are safe, and we're here to set you free, says Wonder Woman. And here comes Ultraman here. And so, hoist the Jolly Roger. Hi. You wanted competition. And Superwoman says, Luthor ferried them from this anti-world. They're everything we are, but opposite. And Power Ranger says, no kidding. And Luthor's watching with the other, backstabbing one another as usual. Luthor! Screams Ultraman. I told you there was a better world, Ultraman. I found it, and now I'm bringing it here to rub it in your face. Look as smug as you like, Owlman. Your drug-enhanced super cortex appears to have let you down this time, he says. And Owlman says, ha, doesn't it? And he's looking at, like, his watch or clock, and you can see here, it's something here. And so he's up to something. And Luthor says, we can convert the Flying Fortress into a headquarters for global peace. By carefully coordinating the abilities of the JLA over the next 2 days, we can dismantle the entire infrastructure of international syndicates. And here, bringing food to everybody, and Flash fixing this building here. So you're the new syndicate, right? You're the boss now. We can work with that. We're not any kind of syndicate, Mr. President, but I thought this. And he says, I don't accept bribes, as he brings gold. I'm afraid you'll have to get used to a new way of thinking. You can't do this. This violates syndicate protocols. And Wonder Woman says, everything has changed. Your protocols are hereby annulled. So, President Benedict Arnold declared war on the British colonies when they announced their independence from the United States back in 1776. They've been enemies ever since. And the bad guys kept all the best bombs, right? They sure left this place looking like a toilet, Superman, says Green Lantern. And so they're bringing humanitarian aid to everybody as well. But, of course, the police are taking it and shooting the citizens. So, and they're dismantling nuclear weapons. So, stuff they don't do on Earth, but okay. Anyway, Superman says, something about all this is making me uneasy, Diana. Where does crime syndicate end and politics begin in this world? And Wonder Woman says, ours is a humanitarian mission, Superman, not a political one, surely. We're giving the future back to these poor people, says Wonder Woman. And so here's Wayne. Without the syndicate's backup, the mobs are falling apart like cheap suits. The Batman's eliminating Gordon's goons at City Hall. And so here comes Batman doing exactly what he was going to do. It's down to us now. This is our chance to put the power back where it belongs. And the cop says, this Batman, what is he? From another planet? Is that it? And of course he is. Look at Batman. He is so cool. Oh, goodness gracious. This is why everybody loves Batman. This Batman is DC's absolute best character, hands down. So, Batman says, this is Batman. City Hall is clear, Commissioner. And the Commissioner says, my kind of planet. Lock and load. This is Commissioner Wayne. You all know me. You all know I stand for a clean Gotham. He's got pretty much an army here. We have Boss Gordon and his men surrounded in City Hall. If you want to see real changes in the city, if you want to feel safe in your own backyards, get out here on the streets, says Wayne. We're smoking the rats out of City Hall. And so this is Gordon here. What did he say? He has me. What is this, Wayne? Has me. This time you'll answer to the will of the people, Gordon. You I have you. I have you. You got yours coming, Wayne, you cheap piece of crap, says Gordon. So everyone's being loaded here. You won't even see it, just like your wife and your punk kid. So, and Batman's listening here. Tell it to your boyfriends in Arkham, Gordon. You're finished. Didn't I promise? You and Owlman. Yeah. Say hi to your wife in the dirt, Wayne. So, ooh. And Batman again, just watching this. And so, tell her I said she was rotten in the sack. And this guy pulls a gun here. He goes, you. And you can see a Batarang here. And Batman jumps out. God below, did you just save my life? Chill went right up my spine, says Gordon. And so people should be more careful with guns. I found this on the moon. My colleagues and I are leaving here as soon as our mission was to set an example. What about you, Commissioner? I'm going to build a new Gotham, says Wayne. I'm putting a wall around the city, making it self-sufficient and strong and clean. Anyone who doesn't like it gets a bullet in the face. And I'll want Owlman back here for trial and execution, of course. Batman just says, of course. So, and Ultraman says, look at her. I tell you what she needs. 5 minutes in a locked room with me, as he uses his heat vision. So, all right. So, Johnny Quick. I keep wanting to say their regular names. You said we had them beat, right? So we're trapped here. How come, smartass? And Owlman says, these deluded idiots came from an opposite world. Our word good is their word evil. And just like he always does, Luthor missed the flaw in his plan. He brought his super do-gooders to a world where evil always triumphs. Understand? And call me smartest again, and I'll cut your speed powder with horse laxative, and you'll be the fastest skid mark alive, says Owlman. And Superwoman says, there was a plane, all found dead with the hearts on the left sides. It was from their Earth. And Owlman says, go on. And Power Ring says, it's going to take another day to crack the green barrier guy's eye. The ring says, I am entity Valdoom, fluctuations in the etheric base of the plasma. And Power Ring says, he's saying it's not my fault. Basically, to get out on the damn ring. And Ultraman says, shut up. Owlman, what's the joke? And he says, a jet containing the same number of people disappeared 24 hours earlier from our Earth. Cosmic scales, they have to be balanced. Our alter cells arrived 24 hours ago, so all we had to do was wait. Idiot. And of course, they're now going to travel to our Earth. And so, the shield was in place the whole time. They got out from under it, Superman. They vanished. And Superman says, you did your best, Green Lantern. But if our worst fears are true, there's only one place they could have gone. It's confirmed, Luthor. I know it's confirmed. I know where they are. What have I done? Why do I always fail? And he's like, it's falling apart, Luthor. I'm sorry, but we have to get home now. They've had 10 minutes and counting. And so they're now in the DC Earth, and you can just see them wreaking havoc. But of course, Aquaman and Martian Manhunter were still there. So Ultraman's being, of course, Ultraman. There is justice after all. A whole new world stretched out screaming. Start with terror. Always soften them up with fear. Look at that. Look at it all burning down. Consider yourself extinct, little miss. And so, look at that. Beautiful. And so, this is Bill Clinton, by the way. So George Bush, um, this was drawn in, this came out in the year 2000, but it was probably drawn between 98 and 99. So Bill Clinton was still president. So this is probably something he would enjoy. So, to be honest. And so, what the hell's that? You stay where you are. He's like, So that makes it funnier because it's Bill Clinton. So, Ultraman, says Superwoman. It's always you doing something stupid, isn't it? She says. He's destroying the Washington Monument, and it's crashing down. So, Aquaman rescues the kids, gives them to the mom here. So, and he says, "Let me deal with this. You, the gutless moron. Yeah, you want to see some guts, Granddad? I'll." And he shoots, and Aquaman just shoots at him with his harpoon hook. So, and then punches him. Aquaman. I'm not a big fan of Aquaman, but he can be a badass when done correctly. So, and Ultraman and Martian Manhunter are just wrecking Washington. So, how dare you come here and do this? He says. You dare threaten the people of this planet in my presence? Killed a white Martian once. He was my first rival. You'll die just as easily as he. And Martian Manhunter is just, look at him. No more killing, he says. Just, I can modify my molecular structure to any thought you form. This is not combat. You were already beaten the moment you chose to engage me. And Ultraman's like, I'll rip your spine out. And Superwoman says, I don't think so. The anti-kryptonite, the stuff you need to keep you Ultra Man, is where? In a room in the Flying Fortress in another universe. And every second you're separated from it, it makes you weaker and weaker. And Martian Manhunter says, enough. Both of you are in custody of the Justice League. And Superwoman says, really? And here I was thinking how easy it would be for you to take Ultraman's place at my side in the new crime syndicate. We could rule this world together. I could teach you things. And John Jones says, we are from different species. I'll try anything once. Ask anyone, she says. I'm a Martian telepath. My people were shape changers, and we learned to see what lies beneath outer appearance. I do not find what I see in you attractive. You will be tried here for your crimes. All of you, he says. So, Owlman, I was thinking we should get back, says Johnny Quick. I mean, you okay? He says, and he says, no. And he sees that in loving memory. Run and tell them, Johnny. Tell them we've been duped. We've been sent to the one place we can't succeed either. Tell them nothing means anything. He's dead. There's no one left to hurt. Run, Johnny. So, of course, Bruce Wayne's parents here. And Owlman just collapses in here. So, there were 2 electron batteries. One brought me through the power provided. One brought me through. The other provided power for my return journey. And Flash, you can see him running here. And I can provide energy needed to recharge the reversal energy. I only need keywords, Dr. Luther. I'm thinking at 70,000 miles per hour. I was afraid the blink crashes as some kind of side effect of my activating the battery. But the timing's wrong. He says, what planes? The people with the hearts? So? He says, What if the aircraft were or a weapon? Their impact may have weakened the moral membrane that separated our universe. And Flash says, Dr. Luthor, what if the planes were used to test the technology, just to see if it was possible to swap a group of people? I mean, if the whole 24-hour thing is a smokescreen, and Luthor's like, God below, could the switch be deliberate? And Luthor says, but Ultraman had no understanding of his uh, cyclotron's capacity. He had no idea there could even be a mirror universe. So, hey guys, GL here on the moon. This place is getting kind of creepy and echoey. I don't think they're gonna come back, and I just got this weird feeling. Hey, what is cui bono? I've heard that before. And of course, it's Latin. Who profits? Flash. Um, who could have wanted me to find your universe? Who could possibly want to ensure that you and the syndicate were rendered ineffective? Who controls and maintains the cyclotron? Of course, we know. Allow me to complete your painfully slow calculations. I'm fully aware, Dr. Luthor. I've been for some weeks now. So it was Brainiac. But wouldn't Brainiac, if everything's the opposite, wouldn't Brainiac be good? So, my slavery in this bottle reality is hereby concluded. And you can see, I am free to upgrade as my life cycle demands. He goes, no, I have super strength, Brainiac. Irrelevant. I control the entire station. My plan is now well underway. And suddenly, he goes, and he says, quicker than a light ray. Those were the bad guys. Flash, no, I miscalculated my arrogance. I didn't think. God below. He's an alien life form from a kind of unknown. And he's in every circuit. And of course, there is Brainiac in the monitor here. So, and he says, I am Brainiac. I'm the 12th level transorganic scintellect. I was captured by Ultraman while exploring this universe. And Brainiac continues, matter, antimatter, impact imminent. The energy released in the cyclotron is sufficient to soften the membrane, plus collide the orbits of the animator, plus animator Earth. And Luthor's like, collide, Brainiac, no. So what do I do? Luthor, don't lose it. And Green Lantern is like, Wally, dude, it just came up over the horizon. Do we really have to deal with this? So suddenly now the two Earths are heading toward each other. Moon of Mars, is this your doing? And Ultraman says, I don't care if the sky falls as long as you and your traitorous bitch die in the ruins. And Ultraman says, shut up and stop being so anti-Christing, stupid Ultraman. Look at us. The glue that holds together back home doesn't work here. We're ineffective. The syndicate's falling apart. We've been beaten by something smarter than all of us. Beyond good, evil. Beyond the moral conceptual frameworks which limits third-level intellects, such as your own. I am free to upgrade, evolve. And Batman says, we have to abandon this world. Failure is our only option if we want to win. It was so obvious, but I was distracted by events in Gotham. We've been played. And Superman says, what? I'll do what I can with Brainiac. And Wonder Woman says, we failed them. We failed Luthor. And Batman says, only because our methods can't succeed in this world. It's law of nature. Everything we do is ordained to fail. Even good deeds go bad here, Diana. And Luthor's like, you can't, Brainiac. Why? Billions would die. And Brainiac says, irrelevant. Energy is not dead information. It is not dead, Luthor. Prepare to become idiocircuitry for the omni-intellect of Brainiac. So, and Superman says, not if I can help it. And Brainiac says, you and your fellow Crusaders are powerless here. As I calculated when in my chains as Ultraman slave, I chanced upon the matter universe. And Superman busts through here. He says, stand back. And he's hit with energy. Superman, well, is that the best you can do? He says. And Flash says, I can generate the energy we need, but I don't know if my stamina's up to sustaining this for long enough to get us home. My lungs are starting to burn, Luthor. And Wonder Woman comes in. Where did Superman go? Can you get us home, Luthor? Home is hurtling toward us as we speak, dear lady, but we have an idea, he says. Hydrochloric acid. Nice try, but that won't work either. Don't you understand? And, Brainiac says, all flesh is flawed. My code against killing doesn't extend to machines, Brainiac. Of course, but therein lies your defeat. He goes, my God, I'm not a machine. I'm an organic scintillect. You will be converted to energy as surely as the rest. And you can see here kind of glow behind him. Or hitting him, sorry. I'll stop you somehow. If I fail, the Justice League will succeed. Give it up, Brainiac. Time to upgrade. 11 minutes. Standard impact imminent. And so that was, of course, probably Gorilla Grodd, I would say. Anti-kryptonite laser vision. The deceased hybrid is one of Ultraman's genetic experiment. Ultra Titanus. And so Superman's like, ugh, looks like I'm immune to anti-kryptonite, Brainiac. Your physical exertions are irrelevant. And Green Lantern goes, Kong's in a cage. No, the beast in terrible agony. I have Ultraman's Phantom Zone projector. In bodiless limbo, this poor creature will suffer no more pain. And so we're almost done here. I know that this video has gone far longer than I meant to, but it's a long story. So, Great Hera, this Brainiac, Superman, we only have moments before collision. Then it's lucky we have the fastest man alive on our side, Diana, says Superman. I'm monitoring all of your efforts to prevent my upgrade. The equation is simple. Here, evil wins, says Brainiac. Agreed, says Superman. That was the logic flaw in your plan, Brainiac. You didn't count on us deliberately doing something bad, like walking away in the midst of a crisis. Maybe we can't defeat you, but we know someone who can. And here comes Batman, and he goes, now, Flash, one last effort. Abandon ship. And so, you can see Flash is struggling here. He screams out in pain. But behind him, the Johnny Quick is coming. So, in the electron flow, we're so close, we couldn't just jump between the universe. Just a little extra speed. I need some. And he goes, Flash, I lost Batman. Tell them I'm sorry. The Flash... Your signal's phasing, Flash. Nah, Johnny, remember me? The bad guys are back. And we'll get to you when we're done with the fossilized brain. And Brainiac's like, oh. I'm becoming an nth level intelligence. My upgrade was calculated, programmed. And Ultraman shows up. When the cat's away, the rats come out to play. Is that it? You pathetic ultra-stellar abortion. Error. Imprisoning you wasn't enough, was it? Those little quivering buds are your higher consciousness centers, am I right? And he takes them out and he burns them. And that structure there is where your hope was sighted. And Ultraman, again, is destroying it, kind of lobotomizing him. And Batman, as they're watching the other Earth, congratulations, Flash, you beat the house odds. The only way to defeat Brainiac was to lose. Yeah, well, they beat back with a baseball bat. Whoa, look at that. If it materializes, I'll try. I know you will, Green Lantern, but it won't. We're in our world now. And the Justice League has no intention of letting it end just yet. So, oopsie. And so, the JLA is rebuilding Washington here. And we get here to almost the end here. Wonder Woman says, I keep thinking about Luthor, alone, doomed to fail. I don't know if I could have the strength and conviction to lose so relentlessly. Do I try too hard sometimes? And Batman says, no one tries too hard to make the world better, Diana. You can never shout too loudly in the name of freedom. That's the way I hear it anyway, says Batman. A note of idealism, Batman, from you, says Superman. Your superhero must be failing. Just saying, I've noticed something about people who try to change the world. The world turns around and changes them right back, says Batman. They're still out there, and now they know we're here. What makes you think, huh? Says Green Lantern. Someone threw a dark mirror at the world and made us look. What if we saw, surprised us? I'm sure that our reflections felt the same surprise we did, and perhaps they too learned something, says John Jones, as we get this vision of the JLA. And so we get to the last section, so 3 pages to go. And so Superman is again watching the world. Luthor has escaped again, attacked the Ultraman bank in Centropolis. So and now everybody is kind of back to normal here. So the president's giving, of course, money. Why would they need money? They already got everything. What? I don't get it, but you know, they would have already taken over. So, all right. So Ultraman says, "My old man's turned Gotham into a police state. No Gordon to protect my ass. No food. No food in the stores. The thrill's back, just like the old days. Let me tell you, we owe those mirror people." And Superwoman says, I hate thinking about them. I keep thinking about them. Why do they do it? What do they get? I don't understand. I keep thinking about you. He can't always be watching. And so they kiss, and you can see the heat coming through it. And he instead kills that cat, and Ultraman says, missed. 12 o'clock, Brainiac, all is well. And so we get the end. So I know this was really long. I hope you enjoyed it. I love this story. I enjoy Frank Quitely and Grant Morrison working together. They make such beautiful art and such beautiful music. So JLA Earth 2 from 2000, Grant Morrison, Frank Quitely. Like and subscribe. I do thank you for listening. I really do hope you enjoyed this long ass video. All right, goodbye.